it's time to get on to another trip. It's been a while, so time to go. Poison Springs, Dirty Devil, the Big Ridge, here we go. Well, from acute observations and calculations, I can say that sunrise is at 7 o'clock. Well, this is our first caution sign, so I thought I'd make note of it. This is the first trip that I've made with my new tires and suspension lift. I had a mishap in one of my trips where really I could not have foreseen hitting the skid plates. And it would have taken out the oil pan if I hadn't had skid plates. So after that, I decided to put armor basically under everywhere I could put it, underneath the Bronco. And I had it lifted and put 37-inch tires on just to be safe. Safe from my own stupidity, I guess. I swore I wasn't going to do it, didn't need it, but it doesn't hurt and looks cool. So here's the acid test. Starting out on the trail here on Poison Spring Canyon. Looks pretty cool, pretty slick. And the sides here you can see your Aeolian sandstone made from sand dunes that got petrified. You can tell because of the kind of slanted lines, cross bedding between the major units here. It should be Navajo sandstone, I believe, from the Jurassic time. The name of the channel, the Coyote Way Overland, is taken in a bit of cultural appropriation from the title of a sing or a ceremony that the Dene, the Navajo, perform to help bring someone back into balance with nature. And in my case, when I am feeling a bit stressed or a bit sad, which is the case here, I start thinking about taking a trip out overland into someplace really beautiful. And that usually does the trick for me. And looking through this video reminds me that there's really no better way to get your mind straight. Some pretty gorgeous scenery so far, though. I'm definitely enjoying it. Head out to check out a camp, and there's a lot of loose sand, and sometimes it's kind of fun to see what sort of critters you can see. Not that I'm an expert. Some sort of critter's been walking through here. This is what caught my attention. Just the reflection off of this varnish. It's caused by some kind of bacteria. Sweet little camp spot though. These cottonwoods are kind of spent, but protected. Probably get some decent sunset. Good camping. Way too early in the morning to be stopping, but and we do have some petroglyphs. Well, the really cool thing about this canyon is that there's a lot of water and a lot of cottonwoods, a lot of camp spots too. Let's take a look. I mean, it's obvious that this gets some flash floods, but it'd be pretty easy to avoid them. There's lots of high ground here, but I love the cottonwoods. Not something you see all the time out here. This area is a desert, but it's also very wet. All times of year, that stream out there has water in it. But because the ground here is so sandy, the water just drains away and it leaves it very dry. So dry that we have cactus here. Some little fuzzy opuntia, prickly pear. Nice. Unless you're a horse. And speaking of horse, that's what these prints are. They're all over here. You can trace them out into the wash there. So there's plenty of water, and grass. Good place for horses. You know, I saw a black horse. By the time I got the camera out, he kind of ambled on. He didn't seem too afraid. Of course, why would they be? There they are. Looks like he wants a handout. I didn't bring any carrots. I'm sorry. A paint of some kind. I don't even know what that's called. It looks kind of muley. Definitely. Hello. Would you like? Let me see what I got here. No, you can't eat my camera. I know you're friendly, but I don't have any food for you. These guys are going to lead me along here. Well, I can't say that they're very pretty, but they're definitely friendly. Make up for it in personality. Even this guy. Man, I wish I had something for you. I don't think you'd like cookies. All right, guys. You be well. Okay. Wild horses. Check. Heading up a side trip here to Blackjup Canyon. The main road is on the right-hand side there, on the left hand. Supposed to be some pretty views. And I saw this out here, and I was thinking, what the hell is this thing? I'm sure it has a simple geological explanation. Either that or, of course, could be aliens stacked these rocks. That's always the first thing I think. And this is cryptobiotic soil. So, should try and not stomp on that. That looks like some ephedra. There. Yep, just as I thought. Either these things tumbled down from there and all the sand got washed away, or aliens stacked them here. It looks like it might be some kind of alien writing system that you could see from the sky. We crashed here. Please pick us up. Aha! This is proof positive that aliens did it. Aliens have plastic too, I guess. No, sure what that is. That's some kind of yucca. Interesting. I'll have to look it up. It's always fun to see what's left footprints here. Pretty sure that's a deer. That's the canyon we're going to go up when we get done with this little side trip. It looks pretty. Black Jump Canyon. Well, if you like this kind of thing, it's mighty pretty. And I do. That is the Dirty Devil River way out there at the bottom. And in the far distance there is the big ridge. I'm going to try and get up on top of that with any luck. Look at those ripples at the bottom of some ancient sea. This area was covered by an inland sea for a long time when it wasn't covered by sand dunes. And the tires are already dirty again, so not even a benefit there. Sure is gorgeous country. So we got the tires wet. That's the Dirty Devil River down there. You can see it going at the base of that curve. That was a bit scary, I have to admit, doing that solo. You don't really know how deep it is, and it was pretty swift. There's a fair bit of water in the bottom of that. But I took it slow, had it in 4 low, no problem at all. A friend of mine told me that it's easy to have too much driving in these videos, and I'm sure that's true, but geez, how do you get this all in? You know, these washes along the side of this cliff, and they're quite picturesque. This one's got some interesting hoodoos. And if I can get up here without killing myself. This one was maybe the most interesting. Okay, so what's it look like? Looks like kind of like a moai to me on Easter Island. This mudstone here must have just sort of eroded away, and that chunk of sandstone act as a capstone to keep the rest of this from eroding so fast. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. I think I'm gonna try and find a camp early today. If I drove all day, I would run out of gas. So got to spend part of the day walking around. If I can find a place that's got some hiking to do around it, that would be ideal. Yeah, the country's kind of changing now. A little bit more grassy. Got some junipers here now. Nice. This is just the most gorgeous country. I like it. Okay, looks like this is the camp spot. Got a big old fire pit right there. Looks like somebody's practically made a fireplace. Wow, what a gorgeous spot. I like it. And there's the mess. And there is my coffee. I've shown how I make that. It's espresso, iced latte. I bring ice in these little insulated things inside my fridge. Lasts for weeks. Iced latte with real espresso. Oh my God. Makes it so civilized. It's really howling here most of the night. You get really bad gusts. I'm guessing 25, 30 miles an hour. But then it calms down, so not sure what the weather's going to be like. I guess we'll find out together. I was hiking around here last night, and there's a lot of places where you see all these blue juniper berries. They're just ready to come off. You just touch them and they fall off. They're not actually berries, they're actually cones. It's a conifer, so makes sense. But you see these little pools in the little indents in the sandstone up there, and they'd be completely full of these little berries. Cool, but time to go. This is about a 15% grade. We're going up to Gunsite Pass. Coming right up to the top now. Well, that looks like an inanity. A friend asked me to find any inanities I could find. derived from the word inane. I don't know, somebody trying to dig a hole there seems pretty inane. I'm in a wash. Road goes through the wash. And you hear geologists talk about alluvial erosion, and it all sounds fine and everything. You know, the cliffs fall away and cause these talus fields below them. But it all seems kind of academic. However, this is very clear what happened. If you'd have been here, you know, a few days ago, that chunk would have fallen out and caused this talus field. And those things will erode further, causing the sand we see underneath, sand and gravel. It's just kind of interesting to see a very clear example of it. We're on the Flint Trail now. Mighty pretty, which means we're inside of the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. Okay, so this is the Flint Trail, and it's living up to its reputation. Yeah, we're starting to get the good views out of the Flint Trail here. Going up the side of this butte. This trail is not easy. I wouldn't call this an easy trail. Yeah, so this is a good example. So that's enough of that. I'm going back to driving. Somebody came through here when it was muddy. I wouldn't recommend it. Not for people that don't like shelf roads either. Shelf roads don't bother me too much, but you know, scary is scary. You get the idea. Gorgeous views. Kind of a scary road, but not that bad. I'm really enjoying it. Wow, this has just got worse and worse. The tail end of it, going up to the top, is not only quite steep, as you can see, but it's now slick because the rain hit. Pretty bad rain. I've got it in 4 low, and so far traction's been great. I hope you'll excuse me while I pay attention to driving. A little bit of sunset here. I think that's Happy Valley. Looks pretty happy. We're on that little narrow strip of land, and you can see a little bit better. Not too bad, mud-wise. It's more sandy out here than muddy. You can never tell what you're going to find out here. Looks like somebody set up a rest stop. I wonder if they have any Mexican Coke with the real sugar, the real cane sugar. Let's see. Oh, we got quite a bit of stuff. Let's see, they got liquor too. What do we have here? Handmade vodka. Okay. But No Coke. Oh well. It is kind of remote for a rest stop. And then there's this, looks like a trailer they've made from an old car. I wonder why they picked that car. Looks like it could fend off bullets almost. I used to have a bottle for propane. Wow, I just can't imagine why they built that. What kind of car you think it is? I'm guessing a Hudson maybe? Or, I don't know. A more Lux model. Now it's just a pack rat nest. And that tire doesn't look like it's original. Just guessing. You know, I was thinking about that trailer back there that they'd made out of some car. And my folks had a trailer that they made out of an old Willys. All they did was take the back axle and weld a kind of a triangle-shaped hitch on the front, and then build a wooden box. So it was basically a cargo trailer. But I guess that was the kind of thing they did back then. So that's the big ridge right about where I got to last night. I was on the other side of it though. So mission accomplished, I guess. This is that little campground I found not too far from the Poison Springs River or road or whatever that is. And it's the one with the Petroglyphs. Last time I was here I didn't look that closely, but there's a whole bunch of them here. There's a bunch of small ones here, a big spiral, some smaller ones, and then it looks like a guy with a bow and arrow shooting at a buffalo. Some of these could be faked, but maybe not. That thing looks like a shopping cart with a sheep's head on one end. There's a whole bunch more down here that I didn't notice first time. These are kind of a little bit more deteriorated. And a zigzag pattern and a centipede or something. Boy, it's sure going to be a sweet thing to look at from the campsite though. Starting the campfire and looking at the petroglyphs. Making some cacio e pepe today. Just boil up some angel hair and then put some Parmesan or pecorino. I got Parmesan, pepper and salt. You gotta boil it in just a little bit of water because you want it to be starchy. So it'll cause everything to be unctuous and cling. And one of my friends says, oh, it sounds like fancy mac and cheese. I guess it does. I'll show you how it turns out. Well, it turned out great. It is kind of like mac and cheese except for lots of pepper. fresh ground. Delish.